Hi everyone, we hope you all are doing well. Having a mentor can be an incredible asset to your career and to your life. We hope this video will help you get started.
The first thing that we both shared and that normalized some of the feelings that I was experiencing, which is always really helpful, is that there's a sense of loss when you are laid off from a job, and especially in a situation where there were no signs that this was going to come, and we've addressed that and talked about that. So I think that for anybody that's going through that, whether you left a job because it wasn't a good fit anymore, or you were laid off because of the pandemic, or whatever it may be, that there are like emotional feelings that are going to be tied with that you're going to need to address before it's easy to move forward, or easier to move forward. And so I think we both talked about that there's a sense of loss. And then for people that have been in school and been really successful in school and had great jobs, it's a little bit of a shock. Like, oh, I don't have a job right now. What does that mean? What does that mean for my day-to-day? What does that mean about me? And I know I really had to do some self-reflection on that. And what I came to was, it doesn't really mean anything about me. It's the current situation, and it gives me an opportunity to take a step back and really figure out what I can use my skill set for to affect the most change, because that's what's important to me, to make sure that I'm helping people in a positive way and feeling good about that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like, just living your purpose and like living in the present. That's what it sounds like to me, is that you've been able to figure out like what being present looks like when maybe we didn't have the opportunity, or we weren't able to give ourselves permission to do that before, when we were living in a different time and we might have been busy with school or our job or our families, and things were, focused, I think, a little bit differently. But yeah, for those people who are interested in like, okay, now what do I do? How do I find a mentor? And what avenues can I navigate, especially if maybe they haven't had the opportunities to develop that relationship in person. What, I guess from your perspective, what would be some tips that you could provide, having been a mentor and still mentoring?
Well, I would say the first thing is, and I've made this mistake, so that's why I'm going to say this, is never go into a relationship because you want that person to be your mentor. Like, it does have to come a little bit more naturally. So I will give an example. There was when I was at a company and I was just starting out, I was entry level position, and I was really impressed with the vice president. This person was like a real go-getter. I really wanted to be her at times. I thought she was great. And so I had a conversation with her, and I went into the conversation thinking, I'm going to ask her to be my mentor. And it was one of the very early conversations that I'd ever had with her. We really didn't know each other very well, just getting to know one another. And that was really not the way to go. I ended up luckily not asking her to be my mentor, because it just didn't feel right. But my mind, my headspace was, I'm going to ask her. Right.
Yeah.
And so now that I have several mentors and have been mentors for others, it has to come organically, for sure. And you can definitely, once you're there and it feels right to you, you can have the conversation of like, I'd really like you to be my mentor. Here's how this could look. Are you willing to talk to me once a week? Are you willing to, help me in such and such a way, network, or whatever it may be? But I think it does have to be a little bit more natural, and you can keep it in your back pocket that that's what you want, but really take the time to get to know the person and have them get to know you before you identify them as your mentor.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people have felt that way. I don't know if you have, but that definitely was when in the beginning kind of my career journey, I definitely was like, I'm getting a mentor today.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that sounds very similar to me, because I feel like I've always just felt so busy, and I felt like everything had to be so like orchestrated. I don't know if it's like my type A personality or what, that like nothing I could do was for pleasure. Like, it was always for business. And so I think that honestly, like, I was not going into our relationship in the frame of like, oh, I want Leah to be my mentor, but I think you're right. It did just happen organically, but 100% agree that like in everybody now that I would consider a mentor, it did not happen through force.
Right.
It's like,
right.
It wasn't like I handcuffed you and was like, Leah, you're my mentor.
Right. Right. We don't have a contract or anything like that. Yeah. But I think that people can tell when your end game is to just get a job or to just be connected to somebody that they know, and that doesn't usually resonate very well with others. Whereas like, if you're just genuinely interested in getting to know them, and that's the thing too, that has really struck me is when people have maybe come to me in the form of wanting a mentor or just wanting information, when it's successful is when we build that relationship of give and take, like where I learn about them, they learn about me, and it seems really genuine. They're really interested versus I can tell when they just want, a name or a reference or whatever. And that doesn't feel as good. Nobody wants to be used in that way. The thing that I do, and this has worked for me is, and I guess this is, the clinical social worker in me, but I just ask them about themselves. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. Even people that are shy, I mean, most people are really okay with like, tell me about your career. That sounds so interesting. And not tell me about your career because I think I want your career. Just truly tell me about your career so I can learn more about it. Wow, that's great. And maybe that first time you don't even bring up your own interests, but you circle back around at a later point.
Yeah, no, I like that. So for me, I feel like I'm a very like social person, and like questions I feel like come very naturally to me. Like I could be sitting on like the metro and like just totally jive with the random stranger next to me. But I know that for other loved ones in my life, like that is not so much the case. So for somebody who is looking to build connections with other people, but they might be more of an introvert, or they might not have had opportunities to be able to practice their questioning skills, are there like a couple of additional questions that might be like helpful in a template or another resource or way of going about it? Like how can you prepare if you get kind of anxious talking to people? Because I know that for me, that's definitely not the case. Like that's where I thrive, is like, I'm so curious about you. Like I want to know what your dog's name is and this and that. And like, I really do care, but I know that for some people that's not as easy.
Sure. And I could be wrong. I'm also very extroverted and love to learn about people, but networking and connecting is not easy for me, and it pushes me outside my comfort zone. So, like for me to go to an in-person cocktail party to network, no, like I don't want to do that. That makes me so uncomfortable. But to go on something that's maybe a networking event roundtable, like I'm a little more comfortable with that, something that's more structured. So I think it's important for you to understand what makes you really be able to show who you are, and do that in the most comfortable setting that you can for networking. And there's so many options now. And then obviously, because so many of them have become virtual, if you are somewhat introverted, maybe that's easier. And I think you can approach people via email first and really take the time to like ask some questions there. And you don't have to necessarily go right to let's video chat or, let's have coffee when we can. Like you can keep it on email. And so for someone maybe that's a little anxious about it, you can prepare a little more what you want to say on email and start that conversation.
Yeah.
I'll share this story that actually just happened to me. And this really highlights like how networking can come out of anywhere. So I'm networking hardcore right now and connecting with people and enjoying it a lot. And I was looking through my contacts and thought, well, I should reach out to my realtor. She's a woman that sold me my house and she's very well connected in the community. And I just wanted to tell her that I was laid off and to see if she, thought of any contacts. So immediately she wrote back just a quick text. I have a friend who started a networking group in Richmond, Virginia, where I'm at. So I reached out to this gentleman. His name's Keith, and he started Synapse Networking. And so he was talking to me, and he started this incredible networking group. I think it's throughout Virginia, where I'm based. But where people can come together and they have a presenter from all different kinds of companies, corporations, social enterprise, whatnot. And then each person that's there, all the members get 90 seconds to share about themselves and what they're looking for. And then they invite guests who also get 90 seconds at the end. And then they have 20 minutes of kind of mixing about, talking like, oh, I think you should talk to this person, true networking, right? And so when I thought that was such a great idea and so creative, and Keith shared with me that he is an introvert and that this like did not come naturally to him at all, but you would never guess that in seeing what he had built. So he figured out a way that worked for him, you know, and that, and he was able to build this wonderful system that's helping a lot of people. So I think that you don't have to do it like I've done it or like you've done it. It has to be what you're comfortable with, but there is an element that no matter what, you're going to have to reach out and put yourself out there.
Yeah. And one, I appreciate the way that you're coming about it, where it sounds like it's very versatile and like customizable. Like it doesn't need to happen at a happy hour. It can happen virtually over email. And it is really, I mean, and it can also happen in a platform, like you said, with that networking event where maybe you're going out and you're just doing like a 90-second like elevator spiel, trying to get to know people and then utilizing them as a resource to help to get you connected with other people. So it's not even like, I need to find my mentor. You just need to stop by this outlet, you know, to get those opportunities or to get connected to those opportunities, which I think is really cool and may relieve some like stress and tension related to that, because again, there's so many different ways. And like you said, just reaching out to your realtor is huge, or like for those people who are in, you know, a university setting, you know, reaching out to a professor, they might know of people.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really, like anywhere within your community, it seems like there's probably those people that are super well connected that sending out one email will trickle into, you know, knowing 10 more people.
Right. It always has like a trickle down effect that hopefully is positive. The other thing too is don't discount anyone. There have been a couple of people that I've reached out to where I've thought, oh, their careers are so different than mine. They're probably not gonna, you know, be able to connect me with anybody. And I've been really surprised. So, you know, anybody that you're comfortable with, and even if you're not, like, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, I've reached out probably at this point to close to 100 different people. Some I have no connection with, and I'm doing it through LinkedIn and always, you know, personalizing the email, telling them why I want to talk to them. But some I'm not hearing back from, but a large percentage I am. And so I think that when you send those emails or when you're reaching out, you need to be really specific. And so you know, you don't want to just say, hi, I'm interested in your career. Can we talk? Because I think especially because so many people are changing careers or have lost jobs, folks are just being asked for so much of their time. And so I think you really need to be specific. Like, I looked at your profile, and this particular thing that you do is really interesting to me, and I'd like to pursue that. But I'm really would like to learn more about how you took your first step. The more that they see that you're really interested in them and that you don't just have a form email that you're copying and pasting to all these different people, the better.
Right.
And obviously, like, maybe what we can do is in the future, you know, if there's interest, or just even for us, you know, to get someone on who really knows how to use LinkedIn very well, because there's a lot of folks who are offering free classes on how to best network on LinkedIn, what to do, what not to do, how to engage with other people's content and build your network that way.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think that you provided some really great tips and things that I want to go and do, like, as soon as we get done with this call. So thank you for that. And, you know, kind of sharing what's worked for you, but then also like your side of it as a mentor.
Hey guys, this is Leah. We hope you liked the video. Comment below and let us know how you found a mentor.